All right, this is the Primo Dirt Podcast.
The Primo Dirt Podcast.
And we have a guest from the Chill Regular Podcast.
Ow.
Chill Regular Podcast.
And the rest of our regulars minus Stevie.
Oh, where's Steve?
We have no words of wisdom today.
Yes.
A bunch of people
Words
are
of
going to...
wisdom are late. It's running late.
They're running late. They'll be here.
I can hear people
You'll get
clicking
your
off the video now because Steve's not here.
Yeah. You'll get your words of wisdom.
So
we
Matt,
promise.
Danny, John, James, me.
That's right.
Booyah.
And we're trying absinthe. Oh, and yeah, we're trying...
Way to segue into that one. Oh, and we're trying absinthe.
Oh, look at
It's a
that.
very subtle thing.
Did you see that?
No.
You knocked over the shot and it landed right there.
What?
That's a sign from God that they want us to enjoy this
They want us
absinthe.
to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Danny's going to get his absinthe.
And before the absinthe, I'm hijacking for a moment to say free Snowden and Assange.
Oh, dang.
Nerd.
That sounds
Assange
boring.
Snuck it in there.
That sounds boring.
I don't know about
No.
Assange. Assange is a little nuts.
Free them both.
Yeah.
You should probably free Assange.
Danny
but I think,
wants to free
Snowden's
them.
pretty free.
Oh, I already
Snowden,
poured the first
yeah.
I
one.
thought he
He was
was,
free.
isn't he?
He's
Oh, yeah,
in,
John-
somewhere in Russia
Speaking
right
of John McAfee. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, we got to get it ready.
We can't
That's
free
crazy.
him. We can't free him.
Can't free
anymore.
McAfee.
So we're starting off with Grande Absente.
Here, throw it here. I'll throw it up
Cheers.
in the thing.
Starting with?
Might as well start with the one that starts with grande.
Nah,
Yeah,
Stir
it's
up.
coming
More?
after this.
I think I'm just doing one because
To be honest, this is the strongest one. We started with the strongest.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. So we started
Yeah.
with number 5.
We're not going up to 5. Yeah, we're starting with 5. 3, 2, 1.
Well, we're sipping, no?
oh, birds like peppermint.
Yeah, why would
It's
you
very
sip? Don't,
Jaeg-
don't sip that. Black licorice?
Yeah, it's Jaeger like.
I
You do
hate
not
black
want to sip
licorice. Like more than anything, I hate black licorice. That's what that tasted like.
More,
More
than anything?
Like
Come
more than
on.
fisting your asshole?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an enjoyable Saturday night. But black licorice, ugh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, to each their own. I'm not going to sit here and kink shame.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. No more for me. I just wanted to try.
Do you
it.
guys want Lucid or Vicente Edge?
What is that, a chaser?
No,
These are all different types
These
of
are
absinthe.
more types of absinthe.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're doing more absinthe?
Yeah.
James, you okay over there, buddy?
I'm hanging in there, man.
You're doing a smorgasbord.
Pour us the lucid.
Ooh, here we go.
I'm good, Dave.
No, you're not good.
Nah.
Like,
I'm
I
good.
sincerely hope
No,
that
really,
Just a
I'm
little
good.
taste.
I'm good.
Real
I just
little
always
taste.
wanted to try absinthe, but I really hate black licorice. Ugh.
Oh, John.
I'm right
has a
here.
story about making absinthe.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that absinthe I would
because
try.
you drank it as well, so
Yeah.
lead to forget it.
It was kind of weird. I slept through a lot of it, but I woke up and everything was green and cartoony. But all we did was we took some wormwood and we put it in a closet with vodka. We mated them, and that was it.
We mated them.
There was no. We did that whole. How long does it sit? You look it up. Oh, if we left it in here for so long. No, that's right. We
There's
that's
a recipe
different-
off the internet.
Yeah,
That's reliable, always.
always. And so that's where we got it, and we made it, and I woke
Yeah.
up. You can also take what leaves are they? Sage, basil.
I don't remember. It was a
I
long
think
time
it's
ago.
Sage. Yeah, sage.
You were boiling something.
So you boil sage and then you drink it, and it's the grossest tasting tea. Like I drink mushroom tea over that, and I seen green. Green. It was like a oily. There's Stujone and sage, and so you get fresh sage in the little packet from
Yeah.
Albertsons. Right?
Allocated.
It's a packet. That's how you have to ask for it. That means sage.
That's sign language
That's
for
sage. I thought that was
indulgence
loose
packet.
vagina, but I mean, yeah, that works too.
Yeah, well, it depends on what language. In dolphin sages, because they're all about sage. But yeah.
Holy shit! Was that? Did you just do that?
No, that was the soundboard.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I just I
Wait,
soloed
James, are you not
that.
doing another one? Or are you good?
Yeah, I'll come in for this one.
Lucid.
I'm gonna show him the bottle.
Lucid was the brand that made it
Popular.
legal in America to make absinthe.
Did they have like a different way they made it, or what was the whole
Well,
genesis behind it?
They just were within the guidelines of American, like, I don't know, health
Yeah, so
department.
none of this will
Is
make
this
you.
made out of
None of this
beets?
will actually make you hallucinate like actual absinthe, like European absinthe.
You just took it without them. That's
It's kind of a
fucking
different
rude.
flavor. This
Rude.
one's less Jägermeistery.
Yeah, I'm good.
Smell it.
Yeah, I'm
Just
good.
smell it.
I'm good.
Oh, I just
Anytime
spilled
another
it.
man says "smell it," it's never a good thing.
I thought you said spill it, and that's what I did.
Yeah, that smells almost the same.
No, it's totally different.
It smells a little bit the same because the glass
David
had the
already
other
took his,
stuff in
so-
it, and then it also smells a little vinegary, which is even somehow worse.
Yeah, it has a weird peppery smell.
Yeah, I'm good.
This one, it says Beats on it.
Now, don't get me wrong.
Beats by Dre.
If this was
Oh, hold on, I'm
the
still-
absinthe that made you trip, I would be fully on board
It is.
If you drink
because
enough,
it would be
you'll drink.
worth the price of admission.
What if we put What if we put acid in the absinthe?
This one has a totally different taste.
Well, then just give me the acid.
It,
I actually like the Lucid better than the first one.
I do too. It has like a floral taste with the black
Yeah,
licorice.
it sits much better.
Yeah.
I
It's
know
a little
James
more-
agrees. James looking a little rough over there. bud.
It's a little more
is,
alcohol.
worse.
You
Which
want
is
to
the
get the
liquor-
third one? You want to do the last one?
Yeah, it'll be a minute.
Okay.
Still got to press buttons over here. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Seeing
But,
doubles, dude.
Yeah, I
boy.
got to drive
So
home
this
too.
is
so I don't want to
Vinette
drink
Edge.
anything.
too late, Danny.
I'm gonna give my opinion after all three.
Okay.
Yeah. It's too late for you.
Oh,
I
Three,
do feel a little warm
2,
and
1,
fuzzy.
cheers.
Oh,
It's a
dude,
little
we're
bit, though.
doing back-to-back shots.
Dude, you're
Yeah.
pouring too much, man. Look at how much they have, John.
I just noticed you
poured me
guys
like
are
a full
doing
freaking shot.
like
It's
little
called
mini
samples.
shots.
doing
Yeah,
tasters.
tasters.
Oh, damn.
man.
I thought you said shots.
That's where we're doing small amounts.
You're like the guy at a wine tasting, not spitting in the bucket.
Yeah, right?
this
Ooh,
one's-
that one tastes like okay.
This one tastes like cologne, kind of.
All right,
Tastes
dude.
like
Now
mouthwash.
Oh, that sounds
Mouthwash?
That sounds appetizing.
Yeah, cologne mouthwash.
Dude, that's a
Jacquard
great invention.
Noir.
Why shouldn't
Yeah.
they? Why don't they have a
Absinthe
mouthwash that you can use also as a cologne?
You just like gargle it and then spit it
you-
on yourself.
You spit it out. You do like spray.
Oh my god.
That would be awesome, right? And just walk out fresh and so clean. Smell my breath. Smells like my shirt.
That'd be awful. I would never want that.
That'd be so
For my,
dope.
like for anyone around me, like I wouldn't care, but like I know that would not be a good combination.
Yeah, especially
me.
if like it was tiger's penis or something.
Yeah,
is
no one
the
wants
name of
that.
it.
It's fine tasting, but like smelling, it's a
Yeah.
little different.
Smells like burnt bacon, burnt hair. Oh shoot, Steve's here.
Steve's in the house.
Steve is sneaking in like the
Steve
video
has
won't see
entered
him
the
if he
building.
tiptoes.
Here, Steve could have my shot.
Oh yeah, here, have a shot of absinthe, Steve.
There you go.
Oh, Steve's moving.
Where-
Oh,
already
look, he
clocked
moved
you in.
everything on the set.
Sneaking through subtly.
All the cameras.
I like that you sneaked through the video.
Tiptoe.
Tiptoe.
No, God
Tips.
damn it.
It's just it's like a jerk reflex.
Yeah.
It's that jerk
Yeah.
reflex.
Yeah, jerk.
John
Only
and
jerks do
Danny
it.
are like living in a musical. If you say certain words, you get a song.
Oh, Stevie did
Through
not
the
enjoy
two
that.
loves.
we touched the brink of madness a few times
Sometimes,
together.
sometimes they
Yeah,
do
for sure.
choreographed dances even too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's right.
Was it the Gap commercial or what commercial was it?
I
Can't
forget.
remember.
We ate we bought a 5-pound bag of mushrooms and ate them every day for a week.
Yeah, it was a lot longer than a week. You say a week, but 5
consistent.
pounds.
I don't know. I honestly don't remember much about that week.
Look at it like this: I
This
got
is years
fired.
ago.
I got fired from my job,
I got fired from my
and
job.
we got kicked out of our apartment. They don't kick you out of an apartment in a week. They kick you out over a long term, like a couple months. Like you miss rent, and then you miss rent
No, I
again.
think we moved everything out, and then we. It was sad too because we were literally
You were on mushrooms, Danny.
renting a studio apartment. on
I
top of
know
a
what was
garage,
going on.
and somehow we couldn't afford it.
It was so awesome. Yeah, it was a studio apartment we're both living in for
Did Danny
$475 a
moved
month.
into your one bedroom
the
tiny
90s.
your studio?
We had a wall.
It wasn't a bedroom. It wasn't one bedroom.
We
it was a
had
studio.
a
Studio,
wall. We
yeah.
had we had a
that's
little.
so heartbreaking.
What are those walls called?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah, one of those
partition
like
walls?
Yeah,
Yeah.
partition walls up.
We had one of those.
I
and
have
we
a
had
story
hot
about
plate.
this.
We had a hot plate.
John was like almost 30. He had his first apartment, and he's sitting there. He shows me apartment. I'm like, cool, that's awesome. It was fun, like the apartment.
Yeah.
And he's sitting next to me, and he's like nodding and looking at me, and I'm like, what? And he goes, I got my own apartment, and I'm thinking, you're 30. You should have your own apartment.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
All right, killer dreams, Jesus.
I know. I was
Which,
so
which
excited.
apartment was this one?
Shibuya. No,
Was this in Torrance?
Pompeii. Yeah.
Was that really small
really
studio?
small. It was so
Like
awesome.
you opened the door and you were in the kitchen.
Everybody knew everybody in the apartment complex.
Like you went past the living
Yeah.
room, went straight to the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Do not pass go. You were there.
People would come into my apartment, like buddies from the apartment complex, just reach in the window and then unlock the door. And I would be taking a shit, and I'd come out, and there's like people in my living room. Hey, I had this one guy in particular, and he wouldn't like. I'm like, dude, Eric, you can't keep coming in. He's like, whatever, dog. You know, he's smoking on the bong. So I started taking the bong in the bathroom with me, and I'd smoke it in the
I
bathroom.
think he'd just check in the window and he didn't see it. And he'd be like, no, okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So all of a sudden I hear this knock on the door, and I'm like, this motherfucker's in my apartment. And so I'm like, all right, first thing he wants to do is smoke the bong. So obviously I'm going to put my nuts on it. So I put my nuts on the bong, right? Squeak, 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 squeak. And then I open the door, and it's not just Eric, but it's my best buddy, Kelly.
Oh, no.
Hell yeah. And he's all, yo, dog, by rank, I get the first rip. And I'm on, nah, Kel, dog, you don't want to rip it first. Like, let Eric rip it. I packed one for him. I'll pack you a big one. No, dog, I'm ooh, spicy. I felt
Lips
bad.
feel funny after that one.
I got more Pompeii stories, but we'll just go with the bong nuts one.
That's a good one to lead with.
Yeah.
I like when the cop one told you they wanted to come in and they were there for some sort of complaint.
Yeah.
And you were like, good for you. Fuck off. She shut the
fuck
door
off.
in their face, slammed the door.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you're like a vampire.
If you want to search my apartment, I'll just open the curtains and you can look
You
inside.
can look
And
inside.
there it is.
That's
It's
the
done
best I can do.
searched. Yeah, you know. You've seen everything. It's all right here. I sleep on this futon. That's also my couch.
People don't realize that cops are like vampires. They need permission to come in. If
That's
they don't
what it
have
is,
a
huh?
warrant.
Can you just
Yeah.
throw garlic at them?
They
and
can't,
they'll
they
leave?
can't just walk into your house unless there's like life in danger.
Yeah.
Unless you're a minority.
I learned that the hard way.
I must have
Hot take.
permission. I'm sure there's some cops that don't need permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're white.
Yeah. Like, can I come in? Hey, you got a shot? I'll do some absinthe. I guess I'd still get fired for that. Just walking in like, what you got to drink, bro?
Nah, there's definitely been some cops who've been like, yeah, all right, whatever. I'll just take a drink and I'll leave.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I'm out of here. Thanks for calling me for nothing. Just grab the bottle and walk out.
I'm confiscating this.
Yeah. You guys need to go to therapy. Stop calling it. We're not therapists. I'm here to beat you up.
There you go. Keeps it simple.
Whose is this?
I love the absinthe.
99
99
espresso
coffee.
coffee.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Jesus.
I know, Dave.
What's
You're
with
on
all
a
the
roll.
experimentation?
Yeah, you guys are my guinea pigs.
Yeah, that tastes like Rumplemints.
Did you have a favorite one?
Well, Lucid for me. I would go with
Hold
Lucid
on,
100%.
I'm going with my third.
What did you think, Steve?
He's drinking the cologne.
I just drank that one.
Oh, that is cologne.
It tasted
Yeah.
like licorice a little bit.
They all taste like licorice.
The first one
Apparently,
tastes like
right?
Jägermeister. The second one tastes like
Yeah.
I like a floral. It actually that tastes closer to an absinthe, just with the
Yeah.
floral kind
or
of
floral notes.
I've never tasted real absinthe, but this tastes like real Drakkar Noir. Like it. That is gross. Let me hold the bottle up, dude, because it's gross.
It's sad too because the bottle looks fucking great.
Yeah, I think that's all you're buying is the bottle with this.
I don't know. After that first one, I'm assuming absinthe doesn't taste very good.
I can tell you gotta try Lucid. You just gotta give it that whirl.
It's
Yeah,
too,
Lucid's good.
it's too much of a liqueur. I don't like drinking liqueurs.
Give it a little spin.
It doesn't have
higher?
as an aggressive liqueur taste. I will
Oh, I
say.
see. I was giving the label.
What's the thing that gives the black licorice taste? I forget what it's called.
Licorice
It's not
extract.
licorice.
licorice extracts.
It's anise. Aniseeds.
Anise?
Anise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Butthole. That's what gives it its taste. Nice.
My anise
From the anise of a wildcat.
of a warthog.
Yeah.
Of a lion.
Really?
Oh, but we didn't even bring up what the subject was. It's in the title of the video, but we're talking about bad movies today.
Terrible, terrible movies that should have never
Terrible
been made.
movie.
The worst movies. We're bringing up the worst movies.
And should we clarify? It's not like bad movies like Tommy Wiseau's The Room or anything like that. Like these are movies that people thought this is great. This is going to be good.
Yeah.
And no, it's
They
trash.
overshot.
To be
like-
fair, Tommy Wiseau did think The Room was going to be good. He
Yeah.
thought it was
yeah,
like a
but he's also
masterpiece.
mentally retarded. So there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
But-
which one off the list first is would you pick?
I mean, okay, so we're looking at a list of a handful of movies, and I'm gonna go with let's go with the most interesting and weirdest to me was What Is It? By Crispin Glover.
Man, we might be starting off with the worst one of all of them.
Right.
I haven't seen this one.
That's the number 5.
Number 5.
That's a lot of Scovilles.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, just based
your
off
eyes.
the synopsis that I read, I was like, yo, this one missed the mark real bad.
So-
You started, John. We saw Crispin Glover presented it to us in a theater.
Yeah.
Explain who Crispin
Just
Glover
us.
is, by the way, for people who might not know.
He's thin, creepy man.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Back to the
Thin Man.
Future.
Back to the Future guy.
and
He was
Back
in
to
the
the
first
This
one.
most
The first
iconic
one.
role.
Hey,
Yeah, the
Biff.
first one.
He was in the first one, not so much the second one due to a
Right.
falling
He's
out.
Marty's
Yeah.
dad, basically.
Hey, Biff, get your damn hands off of her.
Oh, he's also the bad
Okay.
guy in the Charlie's Angels reboot.
Charlie's.
Yeah, Thin
Yeah,
Man.
it's
Thin
thin,
Man.
creepy
Yeah,
man.
kind of hanging with
Creepy
us.
Thin
And I guess he's in
Pretty
American Gods now.
Willard.
Yeah,
He
was
plays
right.
Mr. World in the American Gods for anybody, probably the younger generation
And
watching now.
He had an all mentally challenged cast, even though one of them,
I think some were just physically challenged, but
yeah,
most are a lot.
challenge of some sort, but mostly mentally challenged, retarded. Is
As
I
it
think
were.
the correct word.
The clinical
Clinically
word.
correct.
The clinically.
Want to be clinically correct?
And it was just this weird homage to Crispin Glover. They worshipped him at some point, and they just yelled random words in the middle of parks while doing some spins, and which was dope. It's the life of a retard.
But it had something to do with a snail. He was like trying to keep a snail alive,
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know.
which is odd. I ate
And what was the
snails
main
for
plot of
lunch.
the movie? What was the conflict? What was
I mean, it sounded like there really wasn't any because based off the synopsis, it was like Crispin Glover plays a mentally handicapped person who loves salt and a snail and something else, and then battles with his own mental inner demons. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
They
what
weren't
is
like
happening?
losing a rec center or anything like that to a greedy
Yeah.
land developer. No, it's
No-
just
nope.
nothing.
Yeah, I think he's like trying not to pour salt on his snail, so it's like his own weird thing that he's dealing with.
Oh, he doesn't want to kill his snail. Good
Yeah.
job. What?
He's only has salt in his snail, but he doesn't want to combine them, but he kind of does.
Oh my god.
I'll tell you what, it was like salt in a snail listening to the first hour
It
before
was
the
like
movie.
salt in my eyes.
The first hour before the movie was him reading from a book, and it was awesome.
You mean in the movie theater? Like,
Yeah,
you
in
saw
the theater.
you saw him at a
Yeah.
premiere.
Yeah.
And he almost had a breakdown because people laughed at his
certain part.
his emo poetry.
Yeah. There was a part that was funny, and everybody laughed, and he almost freaked out. Had a full panic attack up there. Oh my God. And it was great. I loved it. I'd do it again. But I'd
People still bring it up to this day. Remember that thing you took us to?
Oh, Jesus.
It was
sounds
fun.
rough.
So what is it? If you
What
know
is it? There's 3 movies though. What is the
We do
first
have to
one?
clarify that we keep saying "what is it," and I
That's
think for
the-
anyone who just kind of pops in,
That's
what
the
is
name
it is
of
the
the
name
movie.
of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when people are like, "Oh, what is it?" Like, they're gonna be asking questions. Yeah, guys, what is it? No. What is it?
That's
Yeah.
the greatest. I
Who's on
had
first?
It's like who's on yeah,
Exactly.
what's on second.
Yeah.
Wait,
I-
you said there's 3 of them?
there's 3. I don't know if all 3 got made. I think he made at least the first 2, but it was a trilogy.
Yeah.
What?
It was too big for one movie.
Who's
It had to be a
funding
trilogy.
these?
Crispin Glover and
No,
his
so he funded
Thin Man
them.
royalties.
Yeah, apparently he has a production company that he started that also released or published his books, like the fucking
Yeah.
poetry. So he funded him through that.
It's working somehow.
His book is
Not.
called Rat
It's
Catcher.
probably
If you want to
not.
buy it,
Called Turd Catcher.
Exactly.
If you've seen or heard of any movies that are crazier than what is it is what I meant to say. Then let us know in the comments. You know.
yeah. I think the second one was called It Is the Answer. I don't remember what the third one was
Jesus.
called.
So you had the
Yes.
answer.
It was deep.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up even dwarves started off small.
Oh, okay. I see.
That was black and white,
Yeah.
and the whole cast was going to the theme. The whole cast was dwarves,
Yeah.
was little people,
little people,
and
midgets.
yeah, and it was directed by Werner Herzog. He's done some
Oh
documentaries.
yeah,
Oh,
you brought
yeah.
this up on. Yes. I
That
remember.
guy
now.
does crazy movies, doesn't he?
He can. He also does like
I kn-
documentaries and stuff like that.
I know I've heard the name several times.
He was notorious. Or one of the things was like somebody made a bet with him, and I forget exactly what the bet was about. But it was like if you lose, you have to eat your shoe, and he straight up lost, and he cooked and ate his own shoe. Like he recorded himself doing it so like people would know. Like he is kind of eccentric, no lie. But he's also done really good films. I think like he did the one with Christian Bale and Steve Zahn where they're like in the wilderness,
Yeah.
like surviving Dawn.
Vietnam POWs.
Rescue Dawn, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, they're Vietnam POWs.
Yeah, and
that
they're
was actually
escaping.
a really good movie.
He did that, so he can do really
Yeah,
good
he did
movies.
a Tom
I saw
Cruise
that one.
movie.
That was yeah.
But yeah, this one was all black and white. I thought it was like from like the 1950s, but it wasn't quite that old. It was sort of like art movie, I guess. And it was an insane asylum where the patients were running the asylum and they were little
But you-
people.
You don't know that until the end.
Oh yeah, you don't know. I ruined the
So
ending.
you just ruined the ending.
Fucking
Yeah.
plot twist, ruin.
But what's funny is on the DVD that we bought, because we were trying to buy the worst movies in the world. We were trying to find the worst ones, and that was up there because they even have like a monkey crucifixion and stuff. But they
Okay, wait, what?
yeah, they don't really crucify monkeys.
Oh,
But they have
okay.
a monkey on. They have a real monkey on a cross,
Yeah.
and they do a parade with it. And
That's still fucked up.
yeah, it was messed up. And the
No monkeys were actually crucified in the making of the movie, though.
yeah,
But
and
it would have been.
there was a
doper.
slightly unhappy monkey.
It was an uncomfortable monkey.
And
Was he beaten?
No, not on camera.
Okay.
But it was funny because Wurzer and Crispin Glover were the ones doing the commentary on it back when DVDs had commentaries, director commentaries.
That's got to be good.
And Wurzer was saying that he did the movie with little people because he hates them. I was like, that's strange.
insane.
Usually it's like, oh, because I like the content or
Like
the
he's
story.
afraid of them or he hates them.
He just said he doesn't like them.
Fuck yeah, I respect it.
You think it was a way to
But he
hide
was
that
dealing
he
with the
loves them?
fear.
It's a
Yeah,
way-
no, it was definitely
Way to-
a hidden
yeah.
love. Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of them
He was
are
afraid to
probably
admit
pissed
it,
and ornery.
or fascination.
Ornery.
Yeah.
Is that word? Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them are angry all the time. So it's just
Dwarves?
like, God, every you get
Yeah.
encounter he
They all
has with
hated their
one.
contract.
Maybe.
They didn't like the script.
Oh my God, wait, on a very quick tangent. Anybody here listen to Tom Segura?
Yes.
Have you heard his skit on when he's he's like,
I know you fucking hear me.
he's like, I could feel him approaching because all I could hear was meh, 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 like, approaching.
I love Tom
The rest of
Segura.
the skit because I can't drop the hard N bomb, obviously. But yeah, that's all I could think of just now when they're like they're angry little people.
I know you could see me.
They can fucking see me. He turns around. He's like, what? Oh, all right, sorry, got off track.
Pick one. Your turn to pick one.
My turn to pick one. All right. If I had to pick one, I mean, I'm going to say Exorcist 2 just because they fucked this movie up so hard.
Never seen it.
But was it because Exorcist 1 was so bad that Exorcist 2,
What?
in comparison, was bad?
So bad?
Is it bad?
No, Exorcist 1 was so good that it made 2 look worse.
Not necessarily. Exorcist 2 just fucked itself up real hard. It was just a bad movie. Like, William Friedkin, the director of the original, like, he was at one of the screenings and he got up within 5 minutes and left.
Oh, wow.
He refused to watch it. And then he tells a hilarious story. Basically, at one of the screenings, he'd heard about this later. At the end of the screening, somebody stood up and they're like, the bastards who made this piece of shit are in this movie right now. And apparently, like, a bunch of executives in the front row, like, got up and sprinted for the exit door, and they got chased down the street by people because it was so. And it's
Jeez.
awful.
Don't
I
mess
mean,
with the Exorcist.
Oh, it was so bad. Like,
You talking about the exorcism of Emily Rose?
No, The Exorcist.
Different one.
yeah.
Oh, it's Exorcist 2.
Exorcist
okay.
2,
To be
The
fair,
Heretic.
if I was in a movie theater, if I was in the theater after seeing Blair Witch and somebody said that, I would have chased the executive down the street. No
That's
movie
totally
had
fair.
ever pissed me off so goddamn much than that movie.
I don't know, man. I think you would have chased a lot of people down over a lot of movies you've seen.
I'm sure. But that one was a straight bold-faced lie. Like, these hikers went missing. We found their
Oh, so you
footage.
fell for it.
Everybody fell for
I
it.
did too.
Everybody
did?
fell. I thought it
Yeah,
was
everybody was like,
this
this is real.
This is pre-internet where everyone was on the internet and
Yeah.
whatever you saw on TV was the thing you saw. So yeah, it was. We believed it. We're like, oh, true story based on true. None of it was based on
Nothing.
true story.
None
Not
of it.
one shred. It was
Yeah,
the
no,
entire
no.
thing.
But
was
and then
made
it
up.
created a whole horror mockumentary genre.
Yeah, but we didn't know that till after we had paid, $10 to go watch the damn movie.
So that's the thing. Whoever was doing this, putting the movie out, the directors and the writers,
Yeah.
they won.
Oh, they laughed all the way to the bank.
No, all the way. Yeah,
So
right.
I think it's still one of the most successful indie horror films
Yeah.
ever because I think the budget was like 15,
Because
20,000,
everybody, yeah,
if that.
because
Yeah,
everybody
nothing made its
saw
money
all
over.
that the first weekend.
And it was
And then by the second weekend, everyone was like, "Fuck this movie."
So you got
it made like $100 million or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
It's
right.
absurd.
You got to see the genius in the whole what do you call it? The project.
Well, Blumhouse kind of ran with that kind of Blumhouse Productions. That's all they
Blumhouse
really
movies
do.
are good though.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
I would
are.
say most of them can be, but they'll do really trash ones like Truth or Dare, or this like the app one where it's like the death timer or whatever. And that shit was stupid.
Did you see like the Belko experiment? I think that was them, wasn't it? Something
Shit,
like
was the
that.
Belko experiment then? It may have been because that was James Gunn, I think.
Yeah,
Wrote it. I don't know if he directed
great movie.
it. Entertaining movie for
Great
sure.
movie. I was entertained throughout the whole thing.
Speaking of the app that kills you, there was like a period of time where all the movie companies were like, oh, we got to be hip with the kids. So there's this app that kills you or a website that kills you. Because it was cool when when it was like the girl coming out of the television, but
Yeah.
it wasn't as cool when it was like an app or a website that kills you.
Well, yeah, because that's also just stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, coming full circle, Tom Segura's in that Death App movie, and he has a hilarious little
Is he?
role. Yeah, so it's
Really?
a nice little full circle. But no, going back to Exorcist 2, the guy who directed it was actually the guy who directed Deliverance, so like it has a good pedigree behind it. But the movie is just absolute nonsense. Like Linda Blair's grown up now, and she hasn't had Pazuzu in a while, but basically this other priest realizes that Pazuzu is coming back for her. But there's a moment where Linda Blair's doing like tap dancing and has a vision, and then this guy goes to Africa because that's where Pazuzu originated apparently, because he had a vision where he was on top of a bee and went to this or it was like a locust, and he went to this field and saw the whole thing happening. And I'm like, what in the fuck is this movie? This makes no sense at all. And like they have a huge climax in the old building where the first one happened, and like someone catches on fire and they're dead, but they're not. It was all over the place. It was so dumb. Oh, and he beats the demon, the priest does, by punching a hole through its chest and pulling its heart out.
Nice.
Damn. Wow.
How it did it. I was like, this is...
The priest does it.
The priest does it, yes.
I
Absolutely.
kick ass for the Lord.
I kick ass for the
That's
Lord.
probably where he got his inspiration.
We should segue to that.
Or
I
Indiana
mean,
Jones too.
There you go.
What's the movie where I kick ass for the Lord?
That's not a bad movie.
That's not a
Brain
bad
Dead-
movie.
Dead Alive?
Dead Alive.
Dead Alive.
That's
Dead
not a
Alive's a
bad
good
movie.
That's
Yeah.
a terrible
One of
movie.
Peter
Oh,
Jackson's
that's a great
first
movie.
movies.
Grabs a lawnmower in his kitchen.
And that's fucking
He brings it from
phenomenal.
nowhere and then
Hilarious.
spins.
What's like
Hilarious,
black comedy?
but terrible.
Right, but
Terrible
it's
good.
meant to be over the top.
Corny.
It's meant to be
It's
cheesy.
aware
Oh, yeah,
of
like over the
itself.
top.
Yeah.
But the movie itself is hilarious because number one, it's about zombie. Like, it's about this guy who can't put his mother down. She gets bit by this weird animal they got from like Tasmania or something crazy. And she saw it at a zoo. So she dies. She becomes a zombie. He can't put her down, so he's keeping her alive with tranquilizers. But she keeps attacking other people, like her nurse, the priest.
Is that when was it the nurse where she like shoves her fingers through the girl's skin and like starts pulling back and forth and eventually rips her head off?
I don't know if it was
It was
that
like
one.
super gore. Was that? That was also the one where the old lady was the old lady she was feeding herself, the mother.
Yeah.
And she shoves the spoon through the back of her head.
Back of her head, yeah.
No, that was the greaser. There was like a bunch of rockabilly guys. He basically that keeps multiplying. So he towards the end he has like 12 of these zombies in
the basement.
In the basement,
Yeah.
and he's keeping them hopped up on tranquilizers.
He's gotta-
feeding them tapioca pudding or
He's got
whatever.
to feed the one in his neck by
Yeah, because
pulling the head
his
back.
head
He's
is
like,
all the way
"Ah!"
almost sawed off, so he just peels his head out,
Just pours it
and then
down.
drops
Yeah.
it down the throat. But the best part is the priest zombie and the nurse
I
zombie.
kick ass for the
They end up like
Lord.
getting it on, and they have a zombie baby.
Oh Jesus!
So he has to take the zombie baby to the park, and it keeps trying to eat other babies. And so he's sitting there like punching it in the park, and all the moms are like, "Oh my god!" And like this drunk hobo's like, "Yeah!" He's all like enjoying it. It's hilarious. It's a great movie.
Great movie. Dead
You've never
Alive.
seen it.
So
Peter
but
Jackson.
speaking of Dead Alive,
But
Meet the Feebles. Meet the
Another
Feebles
Feebles.
was
See, I don't-
another good bad movie.
we
Hold
also
on
have to-
one
I don't think
second.
that belongs up.
we do have to preface for anyone who doesn't know, Brain Dead / Dead or Alive or Dead Alive.
Dead Alive.
And Meet the Feebles are all directed by Peter Jackson, who is now
Lord
known
of the
for
Rings.
Lord of the Rings. So
He got
let
lo-
that shit marinate, because that's fucking
that
awesome.
led him to be qualified to make Lord of the Rings. Good thing he actually knew what he was doing, or it could have ended up like Exorcist 2.
Well, he also did The Frighteners, which is a
Yeah,
highly
Frighteners was
underrated
good.
movie in my
Yeah,
opinion.
that was a good movie.
Great
Oh,
movie.
can I say one more thing about Dead Alive? The funniest part.
No.
At the end.
Okay, go
When he
ahead.
finally decides to put down the zombies and he mixes up the bottle of whatever it was he was going to put them down with horse steroids. And there was a huge party going on in his house at the same exact time. So all these zombies were on steroids, just bursting out of the wall like, ah, it's just killing everybody. It was hilarious.
Oh, it was
so he
great.
straps the lawnmower to his chest and he just kicks the door down and he has to like walk through the party of zombies one by one. And it's
Shoving the
limbs
lawnmower.
and blood. It's one of the goriest films you'll ever see in a horror film.
I'm pretty sure I
But in
saw
a comical way.
hands with a bucket throwing like
Probably.
kind of coming
Probably
into
did,
frame.
yeah.
It's like, whoa, more blood.
It was like the first time you watch Kill Bill and she's like hacking everyone's limbs off. You're like, oh Jesus Christ!
yeah.
That's how it was.
I mean, that
Still
was
alive.
because then they have the blender, right? There's like somebody's head into a blender, and you see
there's
his
all
eyes,
kinds of
like, going,
creative-
no, and then
There's so many creative deaths in that movie. It's hilarious.
So, and we're gonna have trailers in the comments. John's gonna have to find every trailer and put them in the comment or in the
so good.
description section. So
Just do I
you can
Kick
see
Ass
all
for
the
the
trailers.
yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
scene they really need to see. Is
I
a priest
kick
kicking the
ass for
shit
the Lord.
out of a zombie.
And he's
So
in the Bruce Lee outfit.
Yeah, straight
Yeah.
Bruce Lee priest just kicking ass in a cemetery.
So moving away from the
We never talked about Meet the Feebles.
Oh, we
That's
started
where
to.
went.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you start to get
It's a super messed
Then
up
we went back to
Jim
the
Henson
previous movie.
idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Jim Henson, gory.
Wasn't it also
the
Peter Jackson? Or
Yeah, it was Peter Jackson
it was-
also.
Yeah.
The puppets have sex. I don't remember what the story
Well, it's
was.
a Muppet variety show, but they're like real, you know. So they do their show, but off screen they're terrible people, like actors, drug addiction. Like one of them's like a sex addict, like the rabbit, and he gets all these STDs, and one of them's like a heroin addict. I mean, it's all over the place.
The
But
Fly's a reporter.
yeah.
It's
creative.
It's like
extremely
Tarantino
creative.
plus Henson.
Yeah.
And
So
then
that's Peter Jackson.
the end is when she goes nutbags. In the end, do you remember the hippo? And she's just with the machine gun.
You know, yeah, I heard the story. I think I know what you're talking about, but
That's
I heard the
end of
story.
Meet the Feebles.
But I heard the story
giving
that
away all
when
the
they
endings.
when the studio execs decided to figure out who was going to direct Lord of the Rings, they saw Dead Alive or Meet the Feebles or one of them, and they were looking at him like whoever suggested Peter Jackson. He's like, "This is the guy you want to direct this extremely expensive budgeted, multi-picture deal movie. You want this guy to direct. Are you high?" And somehow I don't know, he got it and.
And thank God.
Maybe
Yeah,
it was
and
a
because-
budget thing because Meet the Feebles was done with puppets to save money.
Well,
paying
if you
actors.
look at it, you can see only in retrospect that he sort of knew what he was doing, but he was applying it with like black comedy, black humor, and dark humor, and but
Yeah, let's
but
change
the
that.
effects, like what he was doing, was very complex, and he was pulling it off on a
absolutely.
low budget.
I mean, that's-
Yeah.
He had no budget when he did Bad Taste, which is his very first one. He was like baking the prosthetics at his house, his
Dang.
mom's house, I think. Like, so he had.
He's very
the
resourceful.
yeah, he had the ability, and he had the.
But not that that's the
Drive.
same as directing Lord of the Rings, but it somehow worked, and we're I'm not sure we would have had things like what's that Throne movie? Game of Thrones,
Game of
things
Thrones.
like that.
Throne movie.
Yeah.
Is that cheesy thing?
Yeah, we would have been stuck with like damn it, the
You're on a roll.
We're all waiting.
the made for TV like fantasy stuff like
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
the like Hercules and
Xena?
Xena, yeah.
There's actually a YouTube video. It's called "If Game of Thrones Were Made in the '90s," and it has that tracking, the lines, and it's like a
Jesus.
'90s cassette, and it's the Game of Thrones music, but it kind of sounds like it's on a Casio. And they put like the names up there, like Full House, like these,
Yeah.
and every character they find a scene where they're smiling, and they put it up there like Full House.
That's actually
Super
pretty good.
funny. You gotta look it up. It's like only a minute long. It's hilarious. Though.
Well, speaking
is
of bad
hilarious.
movies too, though, was like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, with it had one of the Wayans brothers in there.
Yeah.
Every game studio went to go see that because we were making fantasy games, but there was no real good fantasy movies out. So that anybody like cared about that had a good budget. So we were like, yeah, they made a fantasy movie, and then everybody left
was
like
really
sad
shitty.
and
Hey,
and-
listen, Jeremy Irons is fucking phenomenal.
Wait, what movie was that?
Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh.
the movie.
I never
don't know
watched.
if
He
I saw
plays
that
the
one.
bad guy.
Don't.
And there's a line toward the very end when all the CGI nonsense is happening.
I love
And he's
Jeremy
looking at
Irons.
the princess. And it's Jeremy Irons dramatic, and he's like, "Time to die," and he just says it so over the top. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna watch it just for that line. He just says "time to die,"
Yeah.
but it's so aggressive. Oh, it's perfect.
He was the only thing good in the movie.
Oh, he even said he's like, I knew that movie was gonna be garbage. He's like, I just needed a paycheck at the time. It was great. He's like, I had fun. I don't care.
Oh, I knew that was going to ruin fantasy movies for a while. Like,
what
nobody's
about
gonna wanna
Never Ending
touch one for
Story?
one.
Oh, that's
No,
a
that
great
was
movie.
good, yeah.
That's
And-
a
and-
great
That was
movie.
that was a good
Yeah,
fantasy.
it was,
Wolf-
was the
Wolfgang
David Bowie
Peterson.
one.
Huh?
I mean, because like Dark
Labyrinth.
Crystal,
Labyrinth.
Dark Crystal
Dark Crystal,
Labyrinth, Never Ending Story. It was like kind of for kids though. It wasn't like grown up yet. It was really cool. Everyone loved it, but
Bro, let's
Yeah.
can we just acknowledge that Neverending Story wrecked me, at least as a child?
Yeah.
it was scary.
The
all of
horse
us.
was like drowning. I was like, okay, well,
Yeah, it wrecked
I know.
all of us.
Scarred.
Nothing. yeah.
nothing. Oh my god.
you.
But I had like a crush on the princess.
Oh,
I was,
we all
I was
did.
about
We
the
all
same
did.
age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her and Alyssa Milano.
She was super hot.
Yeah.
I would have been trying to save the
I
princess.
want to
too.
see that where you got Alyssa Milano in the dark or not the Never Ending Story princess, and they're just like, ow.
Well, not now.
They're meowing at each other.
I mean, like
Yeah.
now, yeah, but not then.
Yeah.
Act this out for us with your hands,
And then
as Alyssa Milano.
the rock creatures watching the whole thing, just munching on rock. Now put your
rock
finger
biter.
in her butt. Oh.
Jesus.
Well, and now we just traumatize even more people. Even better. But no, speaking of like things that ruined fantasy and movies in general, that would be Heaven's Gate for me. Would be the other one.
Is that the Western?
So Heaven's Gate was a Western. It was one of the most expensive movies ever made at the time. I think the runtime was like 3 hours and something. And this was early 80s. So people are like,
Jeez.
you're out of your mind.
Who's in this? Anyone famous?
There's a lot. Oh, God. Jeff Bridges. Like, there's a lot of people in this movie. The guy who directed it was just coming off of Deer Hunter. So, like, the studio's like, you just won an Academy Award. You can do whatever you want. He's like, this is my passion project. He was doing like 30 or 40 takes per shot. Like he just went over budget. And it bombed so hard, he never made another movie again. The studios wouldn't let him. They're like, "You're done." Like,
It ruined Westerns till Desperado.
It bankrupt United Artists, like
or till
at the time.
Tombstone.
Like they,
Oh yeah, I remember United Artists.
yeah, it bankrupt
Yeah.
them. Like that's how like poorly it performed. So
Wow.
and it's just a bad movie in general. So that'd be my number 2 pick.
Number 2.
What was-
Danny, pick one.
I always go back to Mac and Me, just because it's so funny. It's just a really cheap knockoff of E.T. It was just trying to ride the wave of E.T. It probably got a lot of its budget from McDonald's, because there's a scene in it where there's a full-on like McDonald's dance party.
Yeah.
Because back in the 80s, kids would have their birthday parties at McDonald's.
Oh, for sure.
It was like a whole thing, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I think didn't ET have like M&Ms or Skittles or something?
Yeah,
Reese's.
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces, that's what it was.
Reese's
So they
Pieces.
took it too
Get your
far with
chocolate
Mac
right.
and Me. They had like a full on commercial in there.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
little too obvious.
Yeah. The funniest thing about Mac and Me, though, is if you watch the show Conan, which I think just ended,
Just ended Conan.
Paul
Dope.
Rudd.
Yeah. R.I.P.
All right.
Every time Paul Rudd is on the show for the past like 20 something years, whenever there's a clip he has to show of the movie he's working on or whatever, he shows the same exact clip of Mac and Me.
Instead,
like
yeah.
a dramatic clip, and it's freaking hilarious.
The remake or the actual clip?
no, it's
There
the
is no
actual
remake.
clip.
It's the
It's the
exact
exact
same clip
clip,
for the last 15
yeah.
years.
I mean, if he's doing a Marvel movie, they're like, tell us about Ant-Man. He's like, all right, I know I've been pranking you, but I really got to show you the clip because the studio heads are getting pissed. If they would be really pissed if I didn't show you, and I really like working for Marvel and Disney. It's great. So here's the clip, and then boom, Mac and Me every single time.
and then another time he'll say, I actually funded this movie myself, so I need to put the word out because we don't have commercials and stuff. And then he shows Mac,
Mac
and
and
Me.
Me,
It's the one where like he's in the wheelchair, right?
and he's
Just
going
goes up
down the
cliff,
hill
he's
like ah, and he falls in the water, and then the alien saves him.
oh my god!
But the best part is, every once in a while, he'll tweak it. Like he did a movie on Netflix where he kept getting cloned, or he got a clone. Mm-hmm. So when he does the Mac and Me, and Mac sits up by the river, there was like 2 of them.
Nice.
Every once in a while, he'll tweak it to whatever project he's working with,
I respect it.
which is funny.
He's obsessed with the movie.
Yeah. And if you watch Mystery Science Theater 3000, if you grew up with that, which is fucking hilarious, Netflix, they did Mac and Me, which made it a million times funnier to watch.
It's always good times.
Oh, yeah.
Mac and Me. There you go. I think there's no segue to this movie, but I'm going to bring it up what I think is terrible. Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, but now I laugh at it when I'm older. It's Thief in the Night.
I still get scared in that one.
You still get like a little hold
Yeah.
me. You're like, hold
I
me.
mean, we still remember the song. And we were
In
kids.
Christian school, at Bethel, we were made to watch it every year.
Really?
In class, yeah. Or in church. Yeah.
The story
I
is
do.
the rapture occurs and people get sucked up into heaven because it's up.
Apparently,
Heaven's up. And then all the people left down below have to fend for themselves, and they're giving out the mark of the beast, and people are getting beheaded just right and left for
They're beheading you if you don't.
If you don't take the mark of the beast.
If you don't take the mark of the beast, which is like a barcode or something.
Yeah. There was a lady with the baby. She's like, but I need groceries to feed my baby. And I'm like, then just get the mark, woman. What's your problem? And she's like, ah. And she walks away. And then some old guy's like, I'll get the mark. I'm a good citizen. Rawr. And
Oh my
then
gosh,
they put like the
this-
barcode on him.
This makes me realize, though, isn't that sort of type of indoctrinating also like
Like scaring
making
the
people
shit out of
afraid
kids?
of vaccines and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
oh, just get the Mark of the Beast.
Oh, dude, people have been saying the Mark of the
it's
Beast.
priming.
Yeah.
When Social Security cards came out, people said, Mark of the Beast! Mark of the Beast!
My mom used to tell me that barcodes were evil. They were going to be the Mark of the Beast.
Yeah, they're just working on the Mark of the
Yeah.
Beast. They're trying it on products.
Now
And
it's
then,
gonna
and
be
then
a
credit
QR
cards with the
code.
Mark of the Beast, and then
Right.
tattoos with the
Just
Mark of the
scan it whenever
Beast.
you want.
Going
Yeah.
cashless is the Mark of the Beast.
The Beast is just marking everything, like just pissing on every tree in every way. So, it's the Mark of the Beast. There's just like this puddle on the hydrant.
I mean, if it was going to be a Mark of the Beast, I would just assume it'd be Apple Pay eventually.
Right.
I was
Eventually.
I was in this giant debate with somebody because if they had a chip safely put into the neck of my child, that they can always track them down, like they'll 10 seconds after they're lost, right?
Yeah.
Or they're in the parking lot. There's helicopters over the car that's got my kid. I'd go for it. And they're like, but aren't you afraid of the Mark of the Beast? And I'm like, why would God not want me to find my kid? Like, why would God, like, don't do that? You know, like, well, but they can find my kid. No, it's a mark of the beast. And the
That's
beast
whatever
is-
happened,
Yeah,
happened.
whatever happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, they're afraid of something that doesn't matter. Or whatever.
Well, here's
You're
a
gonna get
question.
sucked up
But there's 3 movies. There was
sucked
only
up in it.
one
That's right, there was a
apocalypse.
trilogy.
It was a trilogy. There was like about the apocalypse. It was like
Yeah.
you thought it was
broke
all
it
in the
down by
first
steps
movie, yeah.
on what they thought would happen if the apocalypse happened in the 70s.
Do you think God's gonna try to suck Steve up and then he's like, "Oh, hold on, I need to take a breath." He's doing stretches, he's like, "Oh," trying to lift Steve. He's like, "I'm just gonna walk the dog." Never mind.
That's the
God.
thing holding back the whole rapture. Is just he's trying to figure out the logistics of that one.
Logistics.
What was that?
It's the one time in thousands of years that God spoke to us. He's like, "Just jump and help me, Steve."
Especially you, Ohio.
Yeah, breaking his monk vow of silence.
God, the only thing I just thought it was like, this is the end.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
at the very end of the movie when like James Franco's going up and he's like, "Fuck you!" And he just drops him back down. And he's like, "Oh no!"
That's awesome. What a great movie.
Oh,
That's a great, terrible movie.
I thought it was, no, it wasn't terrible. I thought it was hilarious.
It's hilarious, but it's designed to be terrible in a sense. Campy.
Yeah.
I didn't even enjoy it personally.
You
I thought, it was,
didn't?
dude, Jonah Hill gets raped by a demon, but missionary position. That's fucking hilarious. How's that not hilarious? That's funny. That's funny.
My favorite
That's
part-
comedy right there.
My favorite part was Michael Cera with the juice box, and he's getting
And a
like,
blow job, and he's gonna blow job and a rim job.
yeah, and a rim job, and he's like, "Want a juice box, honey?"
He smacks Rihanna in the butt.
Yeah.
He's just
She
crazy.
turned around and like hauled up and slapped him, didn't she? Oh my
And he just
god!
laughs about it. He's like a total douchebag, supposedly his character in real life.
He's so mad at everybody because he thinks somebody stole his phone. And then he's up there in the middle. and
Oh,
I think
shit.
yeah. Oh shit. Sorry guys. It's right here. He's like dying up in there.
Oh,
It's a fucking great movie, dude. Great, terrible movie. Let's go to All the Way Terrible. People wanted to kill
Just terrible, terrible.
for Last Airbender.
Yeah,
Never seen it.
I stayed away from it because I heard such bad things. I know there's people where the comic was supposed to be really good. It's a comic, right?
anime.
Yeah.
Anime, that's right.
The anime was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. But there's
That's
a
very
lot
good.
that wasn't mentioned or covered in the movie that was terrible. They never even mentioned
And that was
his
by
name.
how do you say
Shalom.
it?
Shalama Ding Dong?
Knight.
Nice.
Yeah.
That guy's movies suck.
Mr. Knight.
He's
He's
hit
had
or
like
miss.
one or two.
I would say.
Good, decent
Yeah, he said
ones.
one or two.
I would say Unbreakable is very good.
Sixth
Sixth
Sense. And that's all I can
Split,
think of.
I really enjoyed.
I like
it was
Split.
good.
I still haven't
Split
seen
was
Unbreakable
good.
or Split all the way really through.
Ooh, good.
It was just, they just kind of seem
The
okay
Village,
to me.
I thought, was poorly advertised. It's
That
not a
was-
horror film at all.
That was
I
stupid.
didn't
It's
care
very
for
much a
that
love
one.
story.
Very
That's what
stupid
the
movie.
reality of it is. And then After Earth is just trash.
Oh, did he do that one?
That's the best part is the studio didn't want people to know that he did it. So his name is not like advertised. You just see it on the poster, very small at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, he directed that one.
That's funny. I didn't know that. Lady in the Water was shit.
I didn't like that one. And then the most recent one with Glass, that sucked. I
Really?
was
I
so
thought it was
pissed.
okay.
Oh,
That
Oh,
movie was
you
so
mentioned you
dumb.
forgot to mention his worst movie ever.
Are you talking about The Happening?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Marky Mark in that was so bad. And I know he could act good, but this is basically the whole movie is like, huh? What?
Hey, give me a second. I just need to think.
Okay. What? I was like, what's
They
going
go to
on?
a
Who wrote this
crazy
dialogue?
They go
Who
to a
else
crazy
was in
lady's
that
house.
one? I
It had Zoe,
Zoe
Deschanel.
Deschanel.
Yeah.
They go to
I
a
don't
crazy
know if I've
lady's
seen that
house
one.
at one point. And she's like, you were trying to kill me, weren't you? And he goes, what?
Huh?
No.
I just need your phone. What?
so bad.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who was. Yeah,
if
M.
you-
Night Shyamalan. It's
other than
terrible.
Split, he started off like one of the best, and then just went down as
Well, because he started off with the Sixth
Signs
Sense.
I
Signs,
enjoyed,
yeah.
actually.
I heard that was
Science
shitty too.
was Science
I thought it
was
was
good.
good.
Some
For
people didn't like
Science.
it, but Science was okay.
It was like the Slee Stacks.
Well, the problem is
They
that
were like the sleep stacks.
the other thing, like thematically speaking as well, because the movie deals with his faith as a priest. If aliens exist, that kind of negates religion.
Well, that's what I'm wondering because
Like that kind of goes against that whole ideology. So you can't really
that's what I don't understand
find
because
your faith.
Yeah.
the government in the last 2 years are pretty much like, fuck, they exist.
I thought they'd been doing that for a while.
Not really. They've been
Yeah.
trying to keep it tight-lipped, and they're finally like, all right, here's some footage of a UFO or fighter pilots caught. We don't know what the fuck it is. We're done. We're done lying.
But yeah, they just.
I mean, they
either
still haven't
that-
showed us like the alien corpses and stuff like that. But
Well, I mean, at that point, like,
yeah, they
do
told
they
us.
care anymore? It's like we can show you a fucking asshole zoomed in and be like, "This is what an alien looks like."
That's what scares me though, because it makes me think that they know we're done. Like the Earth is done. Like we got like 40 years. And
Nah, they don't know.
They're taking their ships to Mars, so they're like, some fucking aliens. What do I care? We don't have to keep you guys in the dark anymore. Here's who killed
Were you
JFK.
surprised though when they said, "Oh, there's aliens"? Were you like, "Oh my god, the government's telling me now"?
No, I was
should
surprised
know."
they admitted it.
But the super skeptics are going to switch sides. The super skeptics are saying aliens is this because you haven't showed it to us, and then if they actually show an alien corpse, then they're going to super analyze the alien corpse and go, "That's fake. That was made in Hollywood."
Exactly.
Well, yeah, they need
Can't
someone to
please
skip-
everybody.
They need theories, otherwise they don't know what to do with
Well,
themselves.
yes,
Yeah.
I never knew because every time I saw a YouTube video of an alien, I'm like, well, I mean, dude, the shit they can do with just on a iPad or whatever is insane. So of course, I don't know if I should believe this or not. But when our government's like, there's some unexplained flying objects in the sky, I'm okay. I can
Yeah,
believe it.
but at the same time, it's like
And when scientists are saying we keep getting these signals from outer space and we don't know what they are, but it's a terrible idea to try to communicate with outside
John's
life.
going for number 2 of Lucid.
Oh,
or the end
Finish
of Lucid,
it off.
actually.
Yeah.
silent lucidity.
Damn, you guys killed a whole bottle?
Yep.
Now don't
You came late. That's what that's what happens.
We're just handling it really well.
Wipe away
We're
the
totally hallucinating right now.
Teardrop from your eye.
of life.
Life.
Shit.
Nobody gets Queens right. That's
But
a
yes,
deep inside
M. Night
joke.
Shyamalan recently has not been doing well. He's got his redemption movie coming up, so we'll see.
What is this?
What is that?
Old. Yeah.
Oh, it looks okay.
His trailers can look good. So
Well, the good thing is that it's not based off an original idea of his. So
Well, the happening was supposed to be like his first
R-rated.
R-rated movie, and they made it look like all crazy when the people were diving off the buildings
Yeah.
and stuff. So you're like, oh, okay, this could be kind of good. But yeah,
No.
I was just so mad.
nope, it was just bad.
What about the elevator one he did?
He didn't direct that; he produced it.
Oh, okay.
What
Yeah,
elevator
Devil.
one?
I didn't watch it, but it was like the devil's
called-
in an
it's just
elevator,
called
and they don't know
Devil.
which one is the devil.
There's
Or
a group
which
of
That was a
people-
good
Elevator.
movie.
That's a
It was
good
okay.
premise.
Why?
It was entertaining.
Why did the devil want them? I don't get it. They were just a bunch of.
I mean,
fucking
the
people.
idea was stupid, but like once you accept what's happening, it was. I remember that being an entertaining movie. I don't remember
It
a lot
was-
about it.
It was a fun little take on like 10 Little Indians in the sense of like, oh yeah, there's someone there. Who is it?
Yeah, exactly. One of the people in the elevator is the devil, and you're finding out like all these people have a dark secret in life,
Yeah.
and that's why he's taking them one by one in the elevator,
Yeah.
and they're all panicking.
Who
So,
was the devil in then?
I think it was like the old lady.
It was the grandma lady.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna guess, and I've never even seen the movie.
That
it
was
the grandma.
but that
lady.
was a little on
It
the
was
nose.
Kaiser Soze.
But they also
Yeah,
do
just
the
something.
whole like once again go back to the 10 Little Indians where she's at one point you see her dead, quote unquote, because she's like hung. She's been hung by like cables inside the car.
So you think it's
you
not
she's
her.
dead, and then she comes back because her eyes are all solid black or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember it being just like a fun little entertaining movie.
Oh, absolutely.
I
It's
saw it
absolutely
like on a
entertaining.
Saturday board and during the day or
It's
something
not
like
great,
that.
but I was just like, I saw it once. It was fine.
Yeah.
They did the very cliche thing of like the opening image and the last image are just reversed because the opening image is them tracking over the water, but the world's upside down.
Okay.
And they slowly get to the building and they change it. And then the last shot of the movie is that same shot, but the world like rights itself. So it's
Okay.
kind of like saying, oh, everything's right now. And I was like, okay, that's heavy-handed.
There's
but
plenty of
okay.
terrible people out there.
Yeah, so come on.
All over the place.
We could have done it a little differently, but all right.
Yeah.
I see what you're going for.
Has anybody seen Battlefield Earth?
Yes.
Bits and pieces.
I haven't
Not
seen it in
all
pieces.
the way through.
I couldn't sit
Solid.
through it.
Is that
No.
John Travolta?
Yeah,
Well,
John
yeah.
Travolta. It was the Scientology movie, right?
Yeah.
Scientology funded it or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
funded
know
it,
that.
and then
Now-
the
now I
studio
wanna
that
see
produced
it.
it went out of business immediately after.
Did John Travolta have like braids coming out of his nose or something?
No,
he was
he
like a
had-
weird
he had-
alien.
He had like
He had a regular nose
yeah,
ring.
and then he had like braided
Okay.
hair.
He had
Yeah.
braids
Him
in
and Forrest
his hair,
Whitaker
yeah.
look like these two big clunky braid.
Yeah, Forrest
aliens.
Whitaker was in it.
All they're doing
Is
is
Forrest
laughing.
Whitaker a
Yeah,
Scientologist?
I don't think so.
Is he?
I hope
believe
so.
I don't know if he
I hope
still
so.
is, but I was always
After that movie, he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
I still like him anyways.
I know.
No,
Isaac
he's a
Hayes
great
is.
actor.
Yeah, I love Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, he introduced ladyboys to the world.
I never would have
Was-
guessed Chef was
Nice.
a Scientologist.
Hey.
And
Isaac.
what was that? Was
Isaac Hayes.
Ninja Samurai? What was he in?
Ghost Warrior.
Ghost
Ghost
Oh,
Dog.
Ghost Dog.
Ghost Dog,
Yeah,
Waves
Ghost
the
Dog.
Samurai.
Yeah.
That was our introduction.
In that,
Good movie.
He's
Not a bad
samurai, but there's also an ice cream truck involved in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
There was a funny scene with the two mafia guys when they're trying to get away and they get pulled over by a female cop and he just shoots her dead. And the guy's like, "Oh, you just shot that woman." He's like, "Don't be so sexist. She's a cop."
The problem I had with that movie was the way he moved was nothing like a samurai would move. It was just like, I'm gonna slash you like
Oh,
this.
he's Forrest Whitaker's so not a ninja, but
No,
I was believing
the
it
character
because
was
he was
cool.
so cool.
But
He
I'll
was
tell
like
you,
a Western character.
I'll tell you a movie he was freaking bombing was The Last King of Scotland.
Oh, that was a great movie,
Wasn't it?
So he did such a good
He
job.
was kind of like a dictator
He
type
was terrifying,
African president.
but like he was sociable. Like you would like him as a person until you find out who he is. And
He's
you're
the
like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
anti-hero.
With
He'd be
his
like,
lazy
"My
eyelid
friend,"
and everything.
then to pat your shoulder and bring you in his kingdom and everything. But then you found out he was committing all these atrocities on people and stuff.
But yeah, it was so subtle, like because he would do that same like pat, and you would just feel his hand on you. And
Yeah.
like, I think it was James McAvoy was in that one.
Yeah, it's
And,
about
like-
he's a Scottish doctor.
Yeah,
and he took a
and,
job
like, you
down
could just
there.
see the tension in that moment. You're like, oh my God, this is great because it's very subtle, and you're just like, oh, this guy's terrible. I get it.
But the king loves like Scottish culture for some weird reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called the Last King of Scotland.
Oh.
But he's like an African dictator, basically.
It's in that bag.
So I want to bring up
movie, though.
what
Check it out.
also could be the worst movie next to what is it? Was a movie called and I don't think people here have seen it, but Holy Mountain.
This one I know
There's
nothing
there's
about.
so much insanity in it. It's beautiful to sort of watch, in the same way as Zardoz. We'll bring that up in a minute. But it was like a hippie film, and there's this super art film. It was like funded by one super rich guy who liked this director, and this director made the most insane movie you could think of. But there's a scene where the main character gets turned into a cast, like they actually nail him to a cross, and then they cast him like in a mold, make a mold of him on the cross dead.
Like Han Solo.
Yeah, like Han
While he was
Solo.
still alive, though, they put the cast
I
on
don't
him.
remember
or-
if he was dead or alive when they did it, because he comes back alive eventually.
Maybe
But
he was dead or alive.
he wakes and he wakes back up again, and he's in a giant warehouse filled with the casts of him, as it was like him on hundreds and hundreds of crosses in a warehouse.
Yeah.
And then he's on the cross in the middle of it, looking at himself on a bunch of crosses.
Ooh.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Then he
they're-
rips himself off, and he goes in the street, and then he starts like hanging out with crippled Indian like guys in India. I don't know. It was weird.
You do have to mention that the director Jodorowsky is a fucking insane person. Like he's one of those minds. He's very brilliant, but he's too brilliant for his own good. Like he's just out there.
Yeah.
Like there's a
like
documentary
Frank
on him.
Zappa or something.
Kinda, yeah, because there's a documentary on him because he tried for many years, I think it was like 20 years, to make Dune. Like he had this whole thing, like he drew all of the creatures, the costumes, everything. He tried to get funding and it never happened. But his mind is just functioning at a different level. Like he loves symbolism and just how things look and what they can portray. That's why this movie is
Yeah,
just
the cinematography is great in the movie.
yeah.
Sure, he's not like
Just don't know
autistic
what's
or
going
anything
on.
like that.
He may be. I wouldn't be surprised if he
on the
is.
spectrum.
Yeah, definitely. But he's just out there with like his films. So
Is he Harmony Korine out there or Crispin Glover out there?
Ooh,
Crispin Glover with talent?
Here's the thing, Crispin Glover. Yeah, I'd say he has talent because I'm not even a big Harmony fan. I don't like his movies. Spring Breakers was kind of overrated.
Yeah.
It was. I saw that recently. It was interesting.
It was
It's
different,
fine.
but it was overrated.
Yeah, and then like his other one was like Toilet. Like what was the other ones he did?
Kids
Kids.
was
was good.
decent.
Kids was.
Beach Bum was okay with
Beach-
McConaughey.
Beach One was fine. I think people are giving him way too much hype. Like,
Gummo was weird.
yeah.
Yeah, Gummo.
I
talk
think
about
it's
that
because he
often.
was so young when he started in the industry. That's
Yeah,
what made him a
and they got him a lot of
phenom.
attention.
But he
And I
didn't
think-
direct the first one. He wrote it, and then somebody else directed it.
Yeah.
But I think
And
that
then he
gave
started directing.
credence to him. Like,
Yeah.
oh, my vision is going to be better. Like they tried to make it. So I think there's that. But yeah, Jodorowsky is just a very out there kind of person. I would say he's like Crispin Glover with talent on a whole bunch of acid. Just like
Nice.
Has he
Yeah.
made anything that we would know,
Fuck, I'd
or
have to
that the
look it up.
general?
I remember
But
the
you-
documentary on him. Like
He does all
watching
the
it too.
general commercials with Shaquille O'Neal.
You're general now.
If you, yeah, you guys might actually enjoy it. Like eat an edible and watch the
Holy
Holy
Mountain.
Mountain.
I don't like edibles.
Jeez.
Eat crackers then.
I'll eat crackers.
Yeah, because you're watching the Holy Mountain.
Laced
Crackers
with
and
mushrooms.
wine. Crackers and grape juice. Eat the body of Christ.
Body of Christ.
I mean, literally go out there, find a guy named Jesus, and then ask if you can eat some of them.
Calm down.
Does sperm count as cannibalism?
Hey, you know what? If he doesn't like it, just fucking shove a spear in his side. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It's like, hey, nail that fool. I mean, like, nail that fool. Is sperm cannibalism? We still
He was
haven't
he was
answered.
hung.
No.
Jesus
Well,
was.
then that would mean most
It would have to be flesh.
people on this planet are cannibals because I don't want to
Women.
die.
It would have to be flesh.
Because men and women do enjoy sperm.
Yeah.
But the crackers are supposed to turn into flesh in your mouth. Like that's the Catholic thing.
Oh,
it turns
okay.
into literal Jesus flesh when it starts going down your throat.
Yeah, because it can't be there when you're looking at it. Because, like, that's a
That'd be
cracker.
weird. Nobody would
That's
put
a
it in their
cracker.
mouth if it was already meat.
Fucking things you
Sorry.
learn on this podcast. It's great.
It's educational. That's what it is.
How great would it have been if they did haggis instead of crackers?
Oh, that'd
Just
be
little
awesome.
pieces of haggis.
I'm okay with that.
Tiny haggises.
But no, I was looking at Jodorowsky's filmography, and no. Yeah, he's done a bunch. He's
Just
just
a bunch
Chilean,
of-
so it's a lot of Hispanic films, like
Okay.
subtitled. But like, yeah, that was the only reason I knew about him was because of that documentary about him.
and speaking of haggis, Zardoz
Zardos.
That's right.
with Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
I
You're
want to
the
hear
man.
some Sean Connery impressions.
You're the man now.
Oh, you
dog.
heard him?
Yeah.
You're the
Welcome
man.
to the Rock.
Welcome to the rock.
He's
know-
just chuckling in the corner.
You know why? You.
Our laugh track is just Steve.
I'm trying to think of actual Sean Connery lines.
You're the man now, dog.
That was always my favorite.
Yeah, that's the best one.
That's a good one.
No, the other one is winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Yeah,
That's the other good one.
Okay.
That was the Rock. Yeah, that's right.
The Rock is a great one for that.
Yeah, that was a good line.
I
It
think
was
he
a
also
good
said in
line.
one of the Bond films is like some girl came up to him like in one of the scenes and he just playfully slaps her on her ass and he's like, "Just go away, honey. Real men are talking," or like some shit like
Real
that.
men are talking.
Like men are talking right
Did
now.
you ever see that interview he did with like Barbara Walters?
Fuck
Where he
yes.
talks about just beating
beating
women.
a woman. It's like, well, he's like, I'm not gonna like outwardly be like, I'm just gonna go after you, but if a woman comes at me, I'm gonna defend myself.
No, I think he kind of said like,
Oh, if she gets out of line. He
yeah,
said
she
if
gets out of line. Basically, if she gets lippy,
Yeah,
he'll slap
yeah,
a woman.
yeah,
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
He was
His
Mr.
pimp hand was
Universe,
strong.
Sean Connery, at one point.
he's
What?
Mr.
Dang.
Yeah.
He was James Bond.
What were the
No, he was
qualifications
Mr.
for?
No, dude, he was
Just no
buff and
fat?
everything
No,
back in
he
the like
wasn't.
50. Yeah, look it up. Yeah.
Bullshit. I'm gonna call bullshit right now.
Well,
So
buff,
do you-
buff for the 50s is different than buff
Yeah.
for the
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Jack
now.
LaLanne was
There's
considered
no
like
way.
the strong man.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Jack
that-
LaLanne, and he just looked like a little tiny guy.
Do you
Yeah,
know why
he was-
women?
he was a
Do you
good
know why
shape.
women's hate their women's
Women's.
hate their husbands as they get older and older? Because as men get older, we look more and more like Sean Connery, and so do women.
You know what I've noticed from doing phone sales is,
I
I thought you were gonna say phone sex.
jeez.
So actually, you're not wrong. He wasn't Mr. Universe. He came in third.
Oh,
but he
okay,
did
so-
compete.
but he did
So
compete.
then he was Mr.
He was runner up.
Congeniality.
He was. What's the third planet from the sun?
He was second runner up. How's that work?
Is that Mars?
No, but one thing
He's
about
Mr. Mars.
Isn't
Mr.
Zardov
Mars.
kind of like Mars? He has the red
Yeah.
on.
he has yeah.
Would you say this is accurate for the story? This is how I interpreted the story. It's kind of all over the place for Zardoz. It has Sean Connery. There's we'll put up pictures. He's wearing a red bandolier and red speedos and go-go boots, and then he's got kind of like John hair.
Yeah.
But he's got a big braid all the way down his back and a Hulk Hogan mustache, and big bushy eyebrows. And I think there was some weird thing about like you could see exactly where they started shaving his back because I think he still had the hairy chest.
Yeah.
But then there was this hard line of like where it started to hit his back. Like they just shaved a hard line out of his.
awesome.
It kind of looked like Princess Leia and Borat had a kid.
It's where Burt Reynolds got his look.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
And so there's this planet where they had created world peace. It was a bunch of hippies, and they had jailed and got rid of everyone who was too violent, which was men. It was too masculine. They got rid of all the masculinity. So all the men were like, all the men that were left were effeminized. So it was like women and effeminized men who were subservient.
It's like Portland.
And then, yeah,
Like Portland.
and then it's like Portland. And then he's a warrior, and these warriors go from planet to planet, like destroying everything. They're kind of like intergalactic Vikings.
Like
so
Vin Diesel's character in what was the movie?
Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
Chronicles of Riddick. Yeah, but he could beat Sean Connery can beat Vin Diesel's ass
Do you think so? In a fight? Not now.
in their prime.
Oh, in their prime.
In their prime?
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
know.
I think Vin
'Cause-
Diesel would not. I think
'cause
Sean
he's
Connery wouldn't
little.
give a fuck. Sean Connery would bite his nose off and
Yeah.
not care. I don't
I'll
think Vin
bite
Diesel.
your nose
Yeah,
off.
but he's only used to fighting women in reality.
But to
Vin
him,
Diesel
Vin
close
Diesel would be a
enough.
woman,
Fuck.
though.
Yeah.
Do you think Vin Diesel could beat ass in real life?
No.
What about like the actors
I
who
think he's
just,
cosmetically.
who do all the training? Like for instance, if we were in a gunfight, I might want to have Keanu Reeves on my side because I've seen that YouTube video of him
Yeah.
just going
Oh, yeah,
nuts
yeah.
with real guns,
Oh, yeah.
just hitting every target like it's
There's
nothing.
also the difference of like,
Yeah,
yeah,
under
he may
pressure.
have the knowledge, but like in the moment in
Yeah.
a real situation,
yeah, like
are
if
they
a bullet
going
whizzes
to
by him, he might be
Yeah.
like, ah,
he may be like, oop,
yeah,
I forgot all my training.
yeah.
I think-
that's true.
I think Jean-Claude would beat any one of our asses in here, except for maybe James. He trains jujitsu.
Jean-Claude,
Jean-Claude's
yeah,
like
Steven
5'4".
Seagal,
Choke him out.
Because Steven Seagal, all you gotta do is just like walk away at a light pace, and your
Yeah,
kid's
he's
not
fine.
gonna catch up to you.
No, I don't think Vin Diesel could. I just don't see him being like, yeah, he portrays one, but I don't think he's that.
Yeah.
He
He's not
whines and
from the
bitches
street.
and moans all the time.
Yeah,
Does
but
he?
you
I don't know.
got-
I don't follow
He's
Vin
a break
Diesel.
dancer. He's a good break dancer.
He was also in the Street Sharks commercial.
Yeah, that's right.
There was an old cartoon back in like the 90s.
Street Sharks is a toy.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
toy and they became a cartoon, but like he was in one of the commercials where it was a hand puppet. He's like, "Here they come, roar!"
Oh no! I gotta see. it.
Come to Street Show.
Look it up.
God.
We'll put a link in,
have your toys.
link in the description. So I gotta finish the Zardoz.
Family.
So this is a feminized planet, and then the warriors show up. He shows up with a bunch of his dudes, like they're all dressed like him. That's their uniform. Their military uniform is speedos, and so Sean Connery is the coolest one. And somehow he gets to know the leaders of the
When he
planet.
confronts their god, which is Zardoz, he goes to confront the god and what it may be, because they're like this god was supposed to intimidate them, and it did. It intimidated like most of the other like brutals, is what they're called. And Sean Connery's like,
Brutals.
fuck that. So he like goes to the temple to confront it, and he just learns all about it.
And then he ends up kind of like they end up the leaders of this feminized planet, and which are all women, and him, they kind of end up liking each other. Like they're like, oh my gosh, I can't control myself around all this cool testosterone. And this is the first time they've seen it in a long time.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, it's Sean Connery.
Like I can't
Yeah.
control myself. I would be a Bond villain girl in the movie. Oh, you got me, Mr. Bond.
I mean, even the male-
Mr. Bond.
Fuck.
So he likes the planet. He likes the planet, so he has to defend it against the other brutals, right? Something like that,
Yeah, he kind of turns
to try to save the planet. I don't remember how it ends.
It ends awesome.
Yeah,
Eventually, that's how it ends. Eventually.
we'll give you $1 if you can get through it.
There you go. So if you did get to the end of
Oh,
Zardoz,
that's
let us
big.
know in the comments how it ended.
It's
We
like
get-
getting to the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
Boo.
And enjoy the bad movies that we all went through.
Hell yeah.
You gotta watch them. They're all terrible.
Should we get the honorable mentions, the ones we didn't get to, just real quick?
Yeah, give us some honorable mentions.
Howard the Duck, great movie from the 80s.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Bubba the Redneck, that one's John's pick, I think.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
a-
Highlander
Redneck.
2.
Highlander 2, The Quickening. There's like
Highlander
3
2.
versions out there. They all suck.
And Samurai Cop. Those
Yeah.
4 we did not get to. Samurai Cop's really bad.
I watched a little blurb on that one.
Did you watch the nurse clip where she's like, "Do you want to fuck me?" And he's like, and he picks up her like stethoscope. He's like, yeah. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it. It's like it's the worst dialogue you will ever. And it's
Dude,
dubbed.
the whole thing.
It's in
is
English,
horrible.
but it's dubbed in anyways. Like they dubbed it after they made the movie. I think it was like a porn producer who had extra money laying around,
yeah.
Nice.
and he's just like, let's
Yeah.
make a samurai movie
nice.
about
Yeah.
cops who's a samurai.
It's nice.
It's
Had,
nice.
had to have
So,
been.
It's
so
bad.
now that we've suggested in ways to making you dumber, we're gonna make up for every movie. I mean, if you watch every movie on that list, we're gonna make up for it right now with Steve's words of wisdom.
Hit it with a
Tell
Steve.
us, Steve.
Come on, Stevie.
Drop that knowledge.
Freestyle. Warm up the mic.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Killing
There
it.
it is.
You're smarter now.
Should be on a shirt.
This is what happens when you watch all those movies. You get nothing.
He had something really good planned, and then he watched all the movies.
I got nothing. There you go. I got nothing. You're listening to the Primo Dirt podcast. Thanks. Like, subscribe, and
Comment.
comment.
What was your phone sex story?
What? How old people phone sales? How old